good evening, and welcome to Sky Tonight. The full moon is visible tonight with an illumination of 99%. Look for it rising in the east as the sun sets. Viewers are invited to enable captions in their preferred language for local observing cities and times. Join me for a guided tour of tonight's entire sky, highlighting the constellations and celestial events visible from your location. As twilight fades, Venus shines brightly halfway up the southern sky, a perfect starting point. Above us, the Sunflower Galaxy, Vega, the Ring Nebula, and the Hercules Cluster gather almost straight overhead, each a distinct highlight in the early part of the night. Later, when the sky deepens, Altair and Deneb rise high, with Alpha Capricornids meteors streaking through the southern sky and Mars faintly near the eastern horizon. Toward morning, the southern Delta Aquariids join the Perseids meteors in an active sky, while Mercury appears near the east and Andromeda Galaxy looms overhead, with Diphtha and Saturn glowing steadily in the south. The tour wraps with satellite crossings in the moon's path, offering a quiet but fascinating finale. Venus is the dazzling silver-white point near the horizon. Look halfway up the southern sky tonight. It's the second brightest object in the sky after the moon, and impossible to miss. Venus appears at its greatest elongation tonight, shining brighter than any star. The planet climbs highest in Los Angeles at 8:25 in the evening, then the best moment moves to New York at 8:50 in the evening, and on to London at 9:40 in the evening. Venus spins so slowly that a single rotation takes about 243 Earth days, longer than its 225-day year. So on Venus, a day lasts longer than a year. It also turns backwards compared with almost every other planet, so from its surface the sun would rise in the west and set in the east. The Sunflower Galaxy is a spiral galaxy in Cain's Venatici with golden, mottled arms that resemble sunflower petals. To find it, draw a line from Alcade at the tip of the Big Dipper handle towards Cor Caerulea and stop about a third of the way. It appears almost straight overhead tonight and is best viewed with a telescope. In Los Angeles at 8:25 in the evening, the prime view sweeps eastward, reaching New York by 8:50 in the evening, while in London it stays above the horizon all night and peaks at 9:40 in the evening. Instead of two grand sweeping arms, it has dozens of short feathery ones, a messy style astronomers politely call flocculent. The Hercules cluster is one of the finest northern globular clusters. Look for it on the west side of the keystone of Hercules. Use binoculars to spot this soft white, dim fuzzball. It appears almost straight overhead tonight. Around 9:10 in the evening, Los Angeles and New York share the best view together, while London reaches its highest point separately at 9:40 in the evening. The cluster is gradually moving toward our solar system at a relative velocity, though at this enormous distance the approach is imperceptibly slow. Vega is the blue-white star of Lyra and one corner of the Summer Triangle. Look for the very bright star almost straight overhead on summer nights. Vega shines brightly and is visible to the naked eye. Around 11:05 in the evening, Los Angeles, New York, and London all experience the best position together, with London remaining above the horizon all night. Vega is one of the most extensively studied stars in the sky. For decades, it served as the standard calibration reference in stellar photometry, until modern systems began relying on more complex, artificial reference systems. The Ring Nebula is a pale greenish ellipse of light hanging just below Vega in Lyra. To find it, aim your telescope midway between the two southern stars of the little parallelogram of Lyra just below Vega. It appears almost straight overhead tonight and is best viewed with a telescope. Around 11:25 in the evening, Los Angeles, New York, and London all see the nebula at its highest point together. Measurements place the Ring Nebula at roughly 2,300 to 2,600 light-years from Earth, meaning the light captured in its portraits left the nebula around 2,500 years ago. Altair is the bright heart of Aquila, the eagle. It forms the low corner of the Summer Triangle, flanked by two fainter stars. Look high in the southern sky to spot this white star with the naked eye. Around 12:20 after midnight, Los Angeles, New York, and London all witness this star at its peak together. The name Altair comes from the Arabic expression an-Nasr at-Tair, meaning the flying eagle. It refers directly to the name of the entire constellation Aquila, in which this star lies. The Alpha Capricornids are active tonight, building to their peak in 2 days. These meteors streak away from a point in Capricornus and are best seen partway up the southern sky. Let your eyes wander a bit off the radiant for the longest trails. Expect about 2 meteors per hour tonight. Around 1 in the morning, Los Angeles, New York, and London all see the radiant at its best together. Deneb is a blue-white star at the top of the Northern Cross, marking one corner of the summer triangle. Look almost straight overhead to spot it. As part of the constellation Cygnus, Deneb shines across a great distance and is visible to the naked eye. Around 1:10 in the morning, Los Angeles, New York, and London all witness this star at its peak together, with London remaining above the horizon all night. The radius of Deneb is estimated to be about 203 times that of the Sun. If this star replaced the Sun, its surface would extend far beyond Earth's orbit. Mars rises tonight near the eastern horizon. It appears as an orange-red point low in the sky. Look near the eastern horizon as it rises. Mars is visible to the naked eye, and more details will follow in a later scene. The earliest view belongs to Los Angeles at 2:36 in the morning. London waits until 1:42 in the morning, with New York in between at 2:21 in the morning. NASA's rovers Curiosity and Perseverance are currently exploring Mars, searching for signs of ancient microbial life, studying the planet's geology, and preparing for future human missions. The first Phobos crossing of Mars takes place across the apparent disk of Mars. This crossing lasts 55 minutes. It runs from 6:38 in the morning to 7:33 in the morning in Los Angeles, 9:38 in the morning to 10:33 in the morning in New York, and 2:38 in the afternoon to 3:33 in the afternoon in London, with Mars above the horizon in each city. The next Phobos crossing of Mars takes place across the apparent disk of Mars. This crossing lasts 54 minutes. In Los Angeles, it runs from 2:18 in the afternoon to 3:12 in the afternoon, with Mars above the horizon there. New York and London have Mars below the horizon at that time. The first and only Deimos crossing of Mars takes place across the apparent disk of Mars. This crossing lasts 85 minutes. Los Angeles, New York, and London experience Mars below the horizon at that time. The next Phobos crossing of Mars takes place across the apparent disk of Mars. This crossing lasts 55 minutes. In London, it runs from 5:57 in the morning to 6:52 in the morning, with Mars above the horizon there. Los Angeles and New York have Mars below the horizon at that time. The southern Delta Aquariids are active tonight, building to their peak in 2 days. These meteors streak from a point in Aquarius and are best seen partway up the southern sky. Look away from the radiant for longer trails. Expect about 8 meteors per hour tonight. Around 3:10 in the morning, Los Angeles, New York, and London all see the radiant at its best together. Mercury rises tonight near the eastern horizon. Look low in the east as it appears. It is visible to the naked eye, but dawn twilight soon brightens the sky. Catch it soon after it rises, before sunrise. In Los Angeles at 4:42 in the morning, the prime view sweeps eastward, reaching New York by 4:30 in the morning and London by 4 in the morning. A tiny, stubborn drift in Mercury's orbit that Newton's gravity could not explain was finally accounted for in 1915 by Einstein's general theory of relativity. The Andromeda Galaxy is our neighboring spiral galaxy, more than 2 million light-years away. To find it, hop from the corner of the Great Square of Pegasus along 2 stars to a faint oval smudge. It appears almost straight overhead tonight and is visible to the naked eye under dark skies. Around 5:10 in the morning, Los Angeles and New York share the best view together, while London remains above the horizon all night and culminates at 4:30 in the morning. Despite being a separate galaxy, Andromeda is gravitationally bound to the Milky Way by mutual gravitational attraction, along with dozens of other galaxies, forming the local group. Difta is one of the 50 brightest stars in the night sky, located in Cetus. Follow the eastern side of the Great Square of Pegasus extended south to find this bright point. Look high in the southern sky and spot it with the naked eye. In Los Angeles and New York together at 5:10 in the morning, this star reaches its peak, while London sees it highest at 4:30 in the morning. The name Difta was officially approved by the International Astronomical Union based on the Arabic phrase al-Difti, meaning the second frog. The first frog in this same naming tradition was the star Fomalhaut. Saturn appears partway up the southern sky as a steady, unblinking golden point in Pisces. Fainter than Jupiter but with a calm yellow glow, it's easy to spot with the naked eye. Look halfway up the southern sky tonight. Around 5:15 in the morning, Los Angeles and New York share the best moment together, while London finds its peak at 4:30 in the morning. Saturn has 146 confirmed moons as of recent astronomical surveys, making it the planet with the most moons in our solar system, far more than any other world orbiting our sun. The Perseids are active tonight, building to their peak in 15 days. These meteors streak from a point in Perseus and are best seen high in the northern sky. Look away from the radiant for longer trails. Expect about 6 meteors per hour tonight. Los Angeles reaches the radiant's highest point at 5:30 in the morning, New York peaks at 5:10 in the morning, and London culminates at 4:30 in the morning, with all 3 cities keeping the radiant above the horizon all night. The Tiangong space station makes the first crossing of the night. For observers standing on the narrow ground path, the satellite's silhouette crosses the moon's disk for about 1 second. The ground path begins north of Elabade at 6:52 in the evening and ends over the open Indian Ocean at 7:57 in the evening. Tonight, 26 satellites are visible from land crossing in front of the moon's disk. The 6 shown here are the ones whose ground tracks run closest to towns and cities. The Hubble Space Telescope makes the second crossing of the night. This satellite begins its first pass, with the ground path running near Wanzhou at 8:13 in the evening over the open Pacific at 1:34 in the morning. The Hubble Space Telescope makes the third crossing of the night. This satellite crosses again, with the ground path running southwest of O'Fallon's at 8:49 in the evening over the open Atlantic at 2:11 in the morning. The Hubble Space Telescope makes the fourth crossing of the night. This satellite crosses again, with the ground path running northwest of St. George's at 9:23 in the evening over the open Atlantic at 3:45 in the morning. The Hubble Space Telescope makes the fifth crossing of the night. This satellite crosses again, with the ground path running over the open Atlantic at 10:07 in the evening over the open Indian Ocean at 2:29 in the morning. The Hubble Space Telescope makes the sixth and final crossing of the night. This satellite crosses again, with the ground path running near Nanping at 11 in the evening over the open Pacific at 2:14 in the morning. The sky will soon witness a total solar eclipse. Follow for details on how to watch safely. Thanks for watching. Come back tomorrow for another look at the night sky, and wish you clear skies tonight.